Today we're talking about big money being offered up by film producers for evidence of UFOs or extraterrestrials. And of course we're talking about the International UFO Congress right now on Spacing Out. Greetings everyone and welcome to Spacing Out. I'm Jason McClellan.
And I'm Maureen Elsberry. Thanks for joining us today.
The International UFO Congress, the largest annual UFO conference in the U.S., is just a few days away. We, along with the rest of the Open Minds team, are working tirelessly to put the final touches on what we hope will be a memorable event. And Maureen, I don't know why I just realized this recently, but I think our audience is going to be quite familiar with the people speaking there. I think probably close to 50% of the speakers this year have been on Spacing Out before.
A very good chunk.
Let's see, we've got Ben McGee, Ben Hansen, Grant Cameron,
James Fox,
Richard Dolan, James Fox, Nick Pope, potentially more. But that's a pretty big list there. So I'm excited to see a lot of the presentations this year. Like we've mentioned, we've got a very broad range of viewpoints this year at the conference, and I think that's important. It helps with our mission, with our objective to have this be a credible event. And in my opinion, you can't be credible if you're only presenting one side of something, only presenting one viewpoint. This is trying to open up to a larger audience, to pull in mainstream public and get people thinking about this topic and doing their own research into it. And I think this event is a great way to do that.
Well, again, like I think I've said before, we're not asking you to believe every speaker you see. Not asking you to agree with them. Just keep an open mind and listen to what, because you'll have people from both sides. Oh, why'd you have that speaker? He says this doesn't exist or this or that. But, you know, you have to get all those mindsets in there to make it a real punchy place to learn.
Yeah, I think it's important. And as we mentioned, this is a large event. It's 5 days long, 20+ speakers. So there's a lot of information coming out and a lot of socializing that happens too. You know, we take over an entire hotel, this resort in Fountain Hills, Arizona, and everybody there is there for this UFO event. So it's interesting to have all of these people together, like-minded people sharing stories, people hearing information, and I think that's where the Congress really shines.
Oh yeah, and if you're lucky, you can catch us out with a cigar and a glass of wine afterwards if we're not totally brain dead from running all day.
And again, we talked about it over and over again, but I'm really excited about this Sky Watch that we're doing on Friday night. It's going to be hosted by Ben Hansen from Sci-Fi's Factor Fake, and they're going to have $50,000+ worth of top-of-the-line night vision equipment. So that's going to be really cool, and they're going to be showing people how to use the equipment properly, and hopefully we'll see some stuff.
Yeah, and also we have further details about it now for you. So it's going to be at the far end of the pool complex behind the Radisson Hotel, and that's going to be on Friday, March 1st today at 8 p.m.
Yes, 8 p.m. You can find all the information about the conference at ufocongress.com. Well, let's shift a little bit into a news story here and talk about a UFO Congress related story that's sure to generate a lot of attention. Filmmaker James Fox is working on what he describes as the definitive UFO film, which is intended for a theatrical release.
Fox, who's known for his UFO documentaries Out of the Blue and I Know What I Saw, will be revealing details about his new film at the International UFO Congress on Saturday, March 2nd, such as the name of the world-renowned screenwriter he's working with and details about a large cash incentive being offered by the producers of the film for UFO evidence.
Fox told Lee Spiegel of the Huffington Post that the producers of this UFO film are offering $100,000 for the best UFO or extraterrestrial-related evidence. Again, more details will be provided by Fox at the International UFO Congress. And Maureen, this is interesting. James has talked with both of us before about this project he has going on, and more details are going to be released at the Congress. But this is an interesting way to go about trying to encourage people who might be holding that key piece of amazing, undeniable evidence.
Well, not only that, but in the process, you're going to get to see tons of people submitting stuff, and you're going to get a lot of crap. Guarantee it.
No, it's guaranteed.
You may get some good stuff, and then you have all this material to you know, go from for the research.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. I think it's a great way to go. And our friend Lee Spiegel at the Huffington Post had this idea years ago, and I know a lot of people have had this idea. It's a you know, people are motivated by money, but in the grand scheme of things, if somebody, in my opinion, if somebody has an amazing piece of evidence that they've been holding on to, and for whatever reason, whether they're scared that something is going to happen to them if they reveal this evidence or something, $100,000 isn't a lot of money. So enough to make somebody risk their lives if that's what they're worried about? Probably not. But like you mentioned, I think there's going to be a lot of problems that come too. Just a floodgate is going to be open with people submitting things, and I don't know how they, you know, if they've thought about how they're going to go through the process of screening this, who's going to decide which is the best piece of evidence, and well, I think it's going to encourage a lot of hoaxing as well. Yeah,
yes, definitely. From my knowledge, I believe there's going to be a panel of people.
Yes, that is correct.
Hopefully very skeptical people, being the judges, because otherwise you just hand over 100 grand to...
I think that's a very good point, and I know people will disagree with me, but I think everybody on that panel should be skeptics. Because if they aren't, it's just going to open the doors to criticism. You can't have 100% UFO believers looking at this evidence and deciding what constitutes the best evidence. If you have it be skeptical people, and not just skeptical people, just people who are unashamedly skeptics, and they can see a piece of evidence and go, oh my God, this is it, then that is amazing.
Holy grail.
Yeah.
But do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I'm interested to see what kind of stuff they get in. Another thing is, like you said, that this will probably encourage a lot of hoaxing. I want to mention that there is going to be this great presentation by Ben Hansen on Wednesday morning at the conference, which is entitled Profiling the Hoaxers, and trying to determine why people, you know, feel the need to hoax material. Granted, you know, this one's a clear money involved, so that's a little bit of an incentive there, but...
Well, and with that in mind, see how many people hoax things now for no motive at all, other than just to hoax it, and they get a thrill out of it, or whatever they do. They're not getting money. That happens already. So think about if there's a potential $100,000 payday at the end of it. I think it's going to encourage a lot more people. But regardless, I think this is a great thing that James Fox is doing. I'm excited for this movie. I've talked with him about it. Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting movie, and theatrical release. That's going to be big too, I think, because a lot of these UFO films, pretty much every UFO film is a DVD release or something that's just you know, your normal independent documentary. This is going to be a theatrical released film about UFOs, and potentially has the greatest UFO evidence ever.
Potentially.
So we'll talk with James at the Congress and find out more about that. Well, like I said at the top of the show, we're busy putting together the final touches for the International UFO Congress. So that's the only story we have time to talk about today, unfortunately. But you can always visit openminds.tv for all the latest news.
Remember, if you're in the Phoenix area next week, come out and see us at the Congress. And it's at the Fort McDowell Resort and Casino. And all information is at ufocongress.com. And obviously my brain is fried because I can barely talk today.
Because we'll be busy at the Congress all next week. We won't be doing a regular episode next Friday. That's the bad news. But the good news, however, is that we'll be uploading episodes all week. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel on YouTube so you'll be notified when we upload those.
And they're going to get very sick of us then. No. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Maureen Elsberry.
And I'm Jason McClellan, and we will see you in the future.